Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Happy, what's today? Saturday. This is my review for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 5, Episode 2. Yes, we are live again. And I told y'all that in the first, episode that I reviewed that both episodes were so good that they needed their own reviews. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Pardon me while I eat some of these Skittles for energy. Because look, I literally just hop out the shower. Like y'all just missed me putting on pants. So, I'm sorry I took that pleasure away from y'all, but yes, let's get into the review. So we open this episode with Lisa driving with Bronwyn, and they're just discussing the party from the last episode. And they're mostly talking about like Lisa versus Whitney and Bronwyn interacting with Brittany. So Lisa, she's still feeling some type of way, mostly by Angie K, because she went and told Whitney her sentiments about the podcast before she was able to confront Whitney about it. Why do you get so damn juicy? Jesus, I can barely talk. Let me see how y'all doing it first. Hello. We have 18 people in the room. Let me just finish chewing these Skittles. God, you thought I was like eating a Starburst. Hello. Feel free to say hi in the chat. Y'all know that. Live show. Like, that's what I love about this. Anywho, so we cut around the city like they do, like, what the ladies are doing. And we found out that Angie is planning to meet Lisa one-on-one just to talk about the situation. Then we with Mary, and she still feels a way about Brittany. I always want to say Brittany because that's the way it's spelled, but she's still mad at her for insinuating that she grew up poor. Even tells her son that being called poor is kind of like it's being ungrateful to God. And I'm not really sure what that meant. And speaking of her son, like she gives us a little update on him. He is jobless and living with her. I'm sure y'all saw the scandal going on with him. Google it if you don't know. I don't want to talk about it here. But yeah, she says she doesn't mind him being a freeloader because I guess she raised him gave him a very sheltered life. So she feels bad about that. So she doesn't mind him just being at home. And I feel like he's going to be home living with his mom into his 40s until he inherits that house. Let's just say that. Let's see, where are we? So we're back with Lisa and Bronwyn in the car, and they're picking up Heather. These chicks are going to Wendy's. I mean, come through product placement. Like, for real, y'all just so happen to go to Wendy's. Y'all don't want to go to lunch somewhere. As they're eating nuggets, they're doing their order. Like, this is contrived, and we all know, especially if you're like a Bravo person, that Lisa has this like endorsement with Wendy's. She didn't mention anything about his wife. Who are you talking? Oh, about the wife. Like allegedly he's married. Yeah, I wonder if she's gonna update us on that. See, but I don't care if her son is a bum, black generational wealth, and all that. No comment. I thought the son was married to the girl. Well, we'll see. We shall see. Anywho, as they're eating their Wendy's, Heather is also weighing in on the night before in the previous episode. It seemed like she's just being a yes woman for Lisa, and she does have some regret of the pile-on in the last episode, which she did, like her, Lisa, and Meredith. And I feel like knowing Heather, like she cares a lot about what the audience think. And I think when she got home, she was like, how are the viewers going to look at this? I bet you they're going to be on Whitney's side. And yeah, that's why she kind of feels a little bad about it. So then we hear Bronwyn. She's mocking Whitney's like "F you" moment, and we see Heather in the back seat just looking like, and I'm just like, well, let me see. In the confessional, let me see. She says, she says in the confessional that she's just kind of weary of people like Bronwyn or just new people like weighing in so heavily on people they never met. And I'm like, isn't that the whole purpose of Housewives, of the newbies, to like weigh in, make themselves known, have a voice? Like that's how we get to know them, and that's how they stick around on the show. And of course, she's alluding to Monica. And I will say we're going to do a count. This is the second episode in a row where they've showed Monica's face. So hopefully in the third episode, like we don't see or hear anything about Monica, because this season doesn't need Monica so far, in my opinion. She then tells them that she's going to talk to Whitney, and I don't know. I just feel like she's being a flip-flopper. What do y'all think? Like, I didn't really like Heather this episode. I really didn't. And usually I have a soft spot for Heather, but she's just giving Gretchen wieners, you know? And, you know, of course, we know who's Regina George. Next scene, we're with Meredith and her husband going to a cooking class. Now, you know, if this was an edited version of this review, I just would have been like, fast forward. But I don't know, there's scenes together. Do y'all notice that it's always just cringy and forced? And then their dialogue between each other is almost like they either memorized it or they're reading off of a cue card. So the gist of this scene, she tells her husband she wants to be bar mitzvah at 40, and well, 40 something, because she's not 40, she's 40 something. To celebrate her heritage, because she never got to, and because of all the recent hate going on. I guess she's referring to what's going on in Gaza. And I don't know, it's reading I need a storyline this season. I would love to know what y'all think in the comments or in the chat. But yeah, that's it for that scene. Next, we're with Angie as she's meeting up with Lisa for lunch. And Lisa wants Angie to keep what they say to each other, like between them. And Angie is saying the only reason she told Whitney is so that maybe she can apologize, and she wanted them to be cool again. I'm just like, in the last episode, you were being kind of messy because you were telling Whitney that she was the right one in the situation. And I think you didn't say that to Lisa in the moment. So you can own that. But I still agree with her on how Lisa operates in her friendships, because she's kind of one of those all or nothing people. Like, you can't call her out, or if you have some type of disagreement, like with her on a stance, like, I don't know, she just wants 100%. It kind of reminds me of Amanda Seals, actually. But yeah, Angie's issue with Lisa, she has like this Regina George complex. And like, she wants this like proof of loyalty, I would say. And Lisa isn't even letting Angie get a word in. And she's telling her, like, there's no changing who I am. And I don't know, I would be like, bet, and walk out. But I feel like for some reason, these ladies really want Lisa's friendship. Now, let me see what y'all talking about. Not a druggy bum. Ooh, I know who you're talking about. I wish Lisa would pick me up for some Wendy's and a soda. I'm glad that you caught alive too. If the newbies don't speak up soon enough, they get labeled boring and not invited back. Exactly. Heather has always been a pick-me, and I'm over it. Oh, the queen of the pick-meshas, I swear. The general public is not on their side, because you know they be listening. And they be like, look, they already been trying to like, what do you call it? like shadow me sometimes. They be shadowing the black gay ones, the content creators. So I think this is going to backfire on Meredith. Interesting. But let's see, where are we? So then we cut to Angie's confessional, and she's saying she's seen this movie starring Lisa Barlow, where you have to agree with everything she says or you're the enemy. And who does that sound like to y'all who've been watching this season? I'll give y'all a second. She's giving like a diet Jen Shaw. That's what she is. Like, aside from the criminal activity and stuff like that, like she really reminds me of Jen Shaw. And in this scene, her mouth is going a mile a minute. And like, hopefully, like, well, she then says, hopefully we can continue this conversation, because she doesn't even let Angie get a word in. Like, she's like, I'm done. I just hope we can move forward past this. I have to go. And she leaves, and then Angie's just still at the table. Now, yes, this is a good season so far, but we really know if it's a good season by episode 6. Like, if I feel like the third episode is going to be good too, but usually when we're in the middle of the season, that's when people are like, oh, it's boring. Where's Monica? So yeah, next scene, we're at Bronwyn's house. Like, we're just getting to know her more, how she met her husband. Their house, it just doesn't look fully decorated yet. She says she was only there for, excuse me, oh my God, live show. She said she was only there for like a year and a half. Isn't her house giving like Willy Wonka vibes a little bit? I mean, I love the color, but it looks like a playroom a little bit, just a little bit. But she does have an interior designer helping her out, so she can eventually host there. You know what? Her house is a little tacky, but whose house is tackier? Mary Cosby or Bronwyn? Because looking at their houses, I see why they get along. But Bronwyn's fashions, I will say, they're still on point to me. So the next scene, we're with Bad Weather meeting up, and Whitney definitely feels like she was ganged up on in the last episode, and I'm not sure why she's not more angry at Heather. So Heather is basically making excuses for Lisa. And if y'all notice, there's like a core 4. There's Whitney, Heather, Meredith, and Lisa. So you just have Whitney right now, and you have the 3 other core members of the group going at her. So Whitney, I feel like she doesn't have the advantage right now. Like, yeah, she has her friend Dove. Yeah, she has Angie, but I don't know. Like, I feel like the core 4, they still run this a little bit. But we'll get to that later, because I have something else to say about that. Whitney is then saying like she had this fun girls trip planned out to go to Milwaukee, but all this drama is going on. We hear that she wants to incorporate Trixie Mattel again. Like, she's doing a bar. I'm not sure if Trixie owns the bar, but she's hosting that evening. And I just gotta say, for the Drag Race fans in the chat, don't y'all like notice how much like just like the whites, they love Trixie Mattel? Like, I think she's okay, but I don't know. Like, she's just a little mediocre. Like, I wouldn't, like, when I think of all the winners, I don't know. Even her win wasn't even meant for her. It was meant for Shangela. And look, if you know what's going on with Shangela now, maybe it's a good thing that Trixie won in the first place. But yeah, just an observation. It looks like they're going to try to make the trip happen still, though. Whitney does bring up how she met up with Bronwyn, and she mentioned how supportive she was to her. And, well, after her fight with Lisa. And then Heather finds this funny because, you know, when she was talking to Bronwyn in the car and she said the comments that she said, she doesn't tell her in that moment, though. But she thinks Bronwyn is playing both sides of the fence. And I'm just thinking, oh, like you, Heather? Like you? Jesus, if that ain't the pot calling the kettle black. So then we found out that the next gathering is going to be held by Heather. It's going to be this like obstacle course event for all the ladies to go to. Let's see. Her house was giving Alice in Wonderland. Yes, it did look like a kindergarten playroom. Definitely. I want Mary to take all of that stuff off her kitchen counter. Everything looks cluttered. Everything. Trixie's all right. I like Katya. Like, everyone's better than Trixie. Everyone. I don't care for her drag. I like the pretty girls. I mean, the only thing that makes her noticeable is, that 1 ton of makeup she puts on her face. Oh, right. They are friends, huh? I'm not sure, but aren't Whitney and Heather cousins? I have the feeling they don't want to tear family ties apart. Actually, like they found out they were cousins like later in life, and kind of like a technicality. I'm not sure if it was through marriage or not, but I kind of compare it to, I went to high school with a friend, and I found out that my uncle that married my mom's sister. So that uncle, my uncle, his brother, his son is my friend at the high school. So that kind of makes us cousins, kind of through marriage. So I was thinking that's kind of like what Heather and Whitney's relationship is as far as the cousins thing. I think just kind of ran with that. And then, it's also the Mormon community, and you know how they be dipping and dabbling and stuff like that. I don't know, allegedly, but it's a stereotype. But yeah, you know about all that or whatever. So, and it's just jokes, y'all. Don't be too serious in the comments. Oh, thank you, Banji Baby, Badgie BB. Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, hello, Andrea. Happy to have you, my mod. But yeah, I hopefully y'all followed that cousin timeline that I gave y'all on my end. So next scene we're with Heather again, with her friend Brittany, and they're playing pickleball. I know. I mean, I don't know what this surge in pickleball comes from, but whatever. We're getting a background on their friendship, and she's one of Heather's Mormon buddies. And she met her through Angie H, aka Sarah Paulson. We're learning more about Brittany, and she's divorced twice. And she met that Osmond man because, her ex-husband and his ex-fiance started dating. So then they trauma bonded, and then they started dating, and now they're like off and on or whatnot. It looks like what was it? Oh yeah, she starts talking about her family life, but then they're talking about dating because it seems like Brittany cares a lot about not being single. So then she's asking Heather, why isn't she dating? And Heather's response to that was, well, I'm just in a great space in my life right now, so why do I want to bring a man in to screw it up? And I'm just like, I hear that. I am with you on that. Like, Heather has her own little glow up in her own little way. I mean, she's still a pick-Misha. She's still two-faced. She still rides the fence. But, she has an independence. And it seemed like she has more self-esteem these days. Because, look, I've been watching since season 1. Just saying. But yeah, hearing more about Brittany, it just seems like she's a piece of work. And we'll get into that later on in the episode. So next scene, it's the day of Heather's event. All the ladies are arriving, and it looks really intense. Like the obstacle course, it's like 20 feet off the ground. And then we see Mary. So like, if you fall, is that it? Whitney's like, Mary, there are harnesses. There are harnesses. So then, speaking of Mary, we see Brittany arrive, and Mary is not pleased to see her. So then everyone's getting ready, and Meredith is the only one that's not participating. Womp womp. No. Like, Meredith, really? Like, even Mary Cosby participated. Y'all, do y'all know how big that is? Mary Cosby participated in that? I would have never thought. I was gagged. I was so gagged. And yes, y'all, in the comments, Mary is hilarious, but I'm not taking away that she is still a problematic, fat phobic bigot. She is. It is what it is. Like, maybe back in the day, she would have been a riot. But today, like, she's still oh so problematic. But yeah, Meredith said her excuse is she has tennis elbow from churning butter. Girl, go on. Anywho, we still see there's some tension between Lisa and Angie, as well as Lisa and Whitney. So they're all doing the activity and they do the best they can. I don't think anyone actually finished it. So afterward, they're all going and eating and drinking. So everyone's seated now, and Brittany just hops up like, I got an announcement to make. An announcement. It's that her and the Osmond guy, like, they're going steady, and he made it Instagram official at a Costco's. Ma'am, you are over 40. You are over 40. Stop it. So as they're discussing this, like, Mary's like, I'm trying to figure out, why do we care? Now, that was really rude of Mary, but to be fair, I think she was saying what everybody was thinking. Like, that's so weird. Like, you just met these people and you're making an announcement like that. I just don't understand. And then, like, we're going steady. We're boyfriend and girlfriend now. I mean, I could see if you got engaged or something. But he's finally choosing me. And you said that y'all were going off and on for like at least 16 times. So then, let's see, they're going back and forth. And Brittany is like, well, don't you want me to care about you? And Mary says, I didn't ask you to, and I didn't have an announcement to make. Mary it's just involuntary. It really is. And then afterwards, most of the ladies had the same sentiments like, girl, he not really choosing you. And she's getting emotional now. And let me see. I don't feel bad for her in this moment because she brought this up to the group. You brought like your drama and mess. It kind of reminds me, this was Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I forgot, it was the girl who was in a common law marriage. Do y'all remember that season? And then she tried to call Todd like he was on the come up that season. Like, you brought that information to the group. Of course, they were all going to have something to say about it. Let's see. Meredith has, I'm just here so I don't get fined energy. Problematic people can still be hilarious and a necessity for the chemistry for a show. I mean, I guess you find Donald Trump funny too. I was shocked that Mary participated. She's working for that Bravo check so far this season, and I'm here for it. I hollered when Mary said that to her because that's exactly what I was thinking. Oh, at that big age, I would not be announcing a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. Hell, I'm 41 and wouldn't do that. Exactly. I'm wondering what someone said to Mary for her to have such a change. That's a good point. That is a very good point. I think money talks. It really does. Let's see. Where am I? Yeah, so the ladies were just saying that it's very one-sided, like it's very one-sided in your relationship. It seemed like you love him more than he likes you. So yeah, she's getting emotional. And then Heather brings up like, oh, you guys, she's just going through some things. Her family life is difficult. They're all asking her like, well, what's going on? And she's saying, well, it's just really complicated. I can't go into it. And then Mary interjects, but you feel comfortable telling us about your relationship and your new boyfriend or whatever. Mary will not get her heel off Brittany's neck. Like, she is coming for her. I know Brittany regrets that day. So now they're going at it, and Mary's like, you got some soul searching to do, babe. And then Bronwyn comes in and was like, I agree with Mary. And look, they are eating her up again. That poor girl. So then Mary asks her, why can't she make amends with her kids? And then we cut to Mary's confessional, and we actually get to know a little bit more about her. She's saying it triggered her because her mom was the type of woman that would always put a man before her and her siblings. And, she'll be out with a guy or whatever, or trying to find a man while they're left to fend for themselves. There's no discipline amongst them. So yeah, it's triggering. And I really think, I got to give Mary her props. Look, again, a clean slate, y'all. Once she does something I disagree with, I will be on her neck. But Mary clocked it immediately, because if y'all remember in the last scene, like, she even told Heather while they were playing pickleball that sometimes, like, she be choosing trying to find love over her kids. And I'm just wondering, okay, well, that's why your relationship with your kid or children is strained. But yeah, let's see. So then they're on the topic of, I guess, Brittany feels some type of way that Mary's now coming for her children when she really didn't do that. And now she tells Mary to shut up. And Mary's like, shut me up. Shut me up. And those glasses and that white little shawl over her head. So the ladies are trying to diffuse the situation. Lisa said it's going too far. Mary was like, no, it's not. It hasn't gone far enough. Pow, pow. Like, Mary on one. She was on one this episode. I get it. Like, production, y'all made a really good choice bringing Mary back. Look, y'all know how much I can't stand her. So it hurts me. It hurts me. I'm kind of aging a bit from trying to admit this, okay? Jeez. So then Heather, she's trying to help her friend out because she knows she's getting ate up. So then Bronwyn says, I would like to learn something about Brittany that isn't unhinged. And I'm just like, ooh. Then she definitely calls her out, like, what she did to, like, her, like, this situation. And she has a point. Like, girl, what is there about you? Like, what about you? Like, not about your trauma in your family or whatever, or you trying to bag this man for him to get to claim you. What do you like to do? What are your interests? How do you know Heather? Like, she brought up a good point, I thought. So then, let me see. Oh, so we cut to Heather in her confessional, and she's saying she feels bad for her friend because it's like she pushed her in front of a pack of wolves. And I'm just like, Heather, just like what you did in the last episode, it don't feel right, don't it? Like, that's how Whitney felt when she was like battling 3-on-1. Like, again, Heather and these contradictions. I'm tired of it. So now Heather is coming for Bronwyn and tries to call her out for double talking with Lisa and Heather. And Heather thinks in this moment she pulled a gotcha. But actually, like, we get to the flashback and we see that Bronwyn already told Whitney about the FUs. Now, granted, because I'm fair, she did say it in a different tone, but it still wasn't anything terrible that she said about Whitney. I would love to know what y'all thought about that, because I was wondering, will people be on the fence about this? Because I'm still on Bronwyn's side. Like, I felt like, okay, well, she told that to Whitney. What's the big deal? And why are you trying to throw it in her face? Because all y'all had something to say in the car. And you were a yes person with Lisa when it came to Whitney, and you went right back in Whitney's face. So I'm just like, what's really going on? Oh, let's see. The classic Housewives victim playing game with the kids. Oh, classic Housewives victim playing game with the kids. You were with Mary calling Brittany out. Mary was quick with the comebacks. She was. Housewives love using their kids as a plot line, then yell, "Don't talk about my kids," when they're called out. I was so confused by Heather. I honestly feel like she's the real villain. The jury's out on that. Heather made herself look dumb. She really thought she was going to eat with that. She really did. Like, girl, you ate with the Monica thing, but hold your horses, please. Like, she tried to get the new girl together, and the new girl was like, I was so confused by Heather. I honestly feel like she's the real villain. Oh, I already said that. He said they were best friends. Who said they were best friends? So let's see. Again, Heather had the nerve to do that. And then Whitney, she doesn't care. And then she calls out Heather for like trying to make it messy. And then even Angie's like, well, even when you talk to two sides and hear, the perspective, sometimes you're going to have a change of heart. And I agree with that too. Like, you're allowed to. And Lisa says that too. So yeah, Heather is now trying to defend her stance. And it's like the only reason you brought that up because you were trying to take the heat off of your friend, which it worked. It worked. So, I mean, I guess Heather's a good friend in that regard. But that's the only reason she brought it up. Like, she didn't care in the moment, because if you did, you would have called Bronwyn out instead of trying to put that in your back pocket. Oh my God. Like, I don't know what's going on with Heather. I like her, but she disappointed me. So yeah. So now Bronwyn, we cut to her confessional. She's feeling the way about Heather. And now Lisa, because she feels Lisa didn't really have her back in that moment. So Whitney, she tells this group that, everything like calms down a bit. So then Whitney tells the group that they need to be better because, y'all steamrolled me the last time. So then Lisa jumps in and like saying, oh, well, we didn't steamroll you. Steamrolling you is about me being on a podcast. And you're so here they are going at it again with that goddamn podcast. Whitney apologizes for what she said, but she said, well, there was a reason I said that though, Lisa. And, she's like, it was just because like I felt a certain way. Like, I wouldn't have said if I didn't feel that way. Lisa don't give a shit. She says, well, you keep talking in feelings. You need to start talking in facts. And then Whitney comes right back, like immediately. She's like, well, the fact is you're a shitty friend. Yes, Whitney. Well, the fact is you're a shitty friend. I love that. And now Meredith tried to chime in. Like, Meredith, shut up. We don't need to hear you. Go back and eat your food. We didn't hear from you the entire episode. You were MIA. Stay that way. God. So yeah, anyway, Whitney again apologizes to Lisa for the podcast, and Lisa accepts it, even though there's obviously still tension between the two. So then afterwards, Whitney then invites all the ladies to Milwaukee, and they're going to be on a private jet. They're all like excited about that. And then Meredith's like, well, I'm not sure I can make it, but we'll discuss it later. Girl, what? Really? So then Whitney, we cut to her confessional. She's mocking her too. I don't think I'm going to make it. Well, I hope you don't. And pretty much that is where the episode ends. I'm excited about the Milwaukee trip. I saw a little preview of it, and Look, Whitney pulled out all the stops. Like the hotel they're staying at, they have 9 separate rooms, and that's how you do it. Nobody's sharing rooms on Housewives trips because we don't do budgets on Housewives trips, or we're not supposed to. Let me see what y'all talking about before I give my final thoughts on this episode. Heather will always be a pick-me. I agree with that. To Brittany, he wasn't claiming her on that post. Oh, okay. He did say they were best friends. I love how they were proving that they can carry this show without Monica. Second episode in a row. Heather is not that girl, never been that girl, probably will never be that girl. Oh my goodness. Lisa drives me nuts. She does in her own way. I'm already liking this new Whitney. She seems more confident. Whitney is already abysmal, but during the middle of winter, no thanks. Oh, Milwaukee. I'm sorry. Milwaukee is already, you know what? I've never been to Milwaukee. What is there besides white people? And I think of like hay, I think of apples. Is the Mall of America in Milwaukee? Like, why would I go to Minnesota? Put in the chat. Give me a reason to visit Minnesota. Yes, the clips from the trip look really good, and we love a budget. So yeah, I thought this was another great episode, y'all. They are now 2 for 2. Thank y'all so much for bearing with me. Like, it's just been a long week. I've been working a lot. I have to work right after this. I'm going to get to Basketball Wives, the reunion, that shitty ass reunion. I'm probably going to do that live too, just to get that out the way. Just letting y'all know, when I do lives, that saves me 3 hours. 3 hours it saves me. So I might start doing lives a little bit more, but after this, I'll be all caught up. So next week, we're going to overdrive because we're going to have 3 Housewife franchises going on at the same time. We're going to have New York, Salt Lake City, and Potomac. Oh my God, I'm so excited for it. Just to see the dynamic, because y'all know, I mean, yeah, Chris, you said you can't wait for it to be pulled back to 2025. I get it, but I need a Black Bravo show to review because that's what most of y'all look at on my channel. Anywho, another thing about the episode I noticed, I feel like Meredith is fading fast. Like, I think this could be her last season, honestly. Like, this is only episode 2, so I'll give her the benefit of the doubt, but she needs to step it up. She really does, especially her separate scenes as well, because I just don't care. I really don't. Also, Mary's producer, whoever is producing Mary, they need a raise because y'all are doing the Lord's work with Mary right now. Like, she is great comic relief. I will give that to her, even though she's still problematic. She's participating now. She's like going toe to toe with the ladies. And yeah, I will say that right now on my Real Housewives ranking, if I had it like, one right here, Beverly Hills will always be at the top. But now I feel like Salt Lake City is number 2. Number 2. I can't believe it. I really can't. Hopefully Potomac, proves me wrong. We'll see. Oh, someone asked, okay. Oh my God, it is Wisconsin. Oh my God. You know what? I was thinking about something else. It is oh my God. See, that's why. Oh my God. I'm so embarrassed. Thank y'all for letting me know that. I don't know why I thought Minnesota. Jeez. Well, you know what? I haven't been to Minnesota or Wisconsin. I'm glad I caught that before I ended the live. Yes. Okay. I deserve that. So there's a Black History Museum in Milwaukee. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, I had a Portia moment. Chris had a Portia moment. I'm owning it. Pop roast, we might do pop roast tomorrow. It's just because it's my fault. It really is, because I'm working Friday and Saturday. I'm working overtime this week because I go to a wedding on this coming Friday. So I just wanted to make sure, the coins was right. So I apologize. Pop roast is late because of me. Because of me. So yeah, look out for that. It might be mid-afternoon, like around 3, like between 3 and 6. Uh Also, well, I want to know what topics to talk about. I know there is. Like we've discussed Diddy ad nauseum. We'll wait till some extra stuff comes out. But yeah, I'm at the 40-minute mark now. I try to get these under 40 minutes because I'm not really sure people's attention spans these days. So yeah, I appreciate y'all for joining me. For those of you on the rewatch, I appreciate you watching. And yeah, with that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will